Valley Talk on News Talk 1580 KGAL.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome once again to Real Estate Talk. I'm your host, Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity. We are live this beautiful Thursday morning, operating from the Albany studios of KGAL K-Show Radio, the home of Silver Falls Dermatology, the old library building here in Albany. We'll start the show today out. I got one question for you. Are you hungry? Because it's almost lunchtime, and if you're hungry, you want a taste on us. That's a $10 Quiznos gift certificate for the first person this hour to email dave@kgal.com and mention Taste on Us. That gift certificate is good for the Albany Quiznos store. Gotta love Quiznos. Toasty subs. My guest today is RE/MAX Integrity broker and owner Kevin Simran. So every year I try to get Kevin on the show. Every year Kevin does a meeting for us. It's kind of the State of the Union address, sort of a presentation for all of the RE/MAX agents in our area, the Eugene, Corvallis, and Albany, the RE/MAX Integrity franchise. And he gives us his insights into where the market was last year and what we are looking for in the year ahead. And I was excited because Kevin started off the meeting this year saying this was the meeting he's been waiting for 5 years. So last month's meeting, I think there's some optimism finally in the market, and Kevin's going to share his insights with us today. But before we get to that, let's do the real estate showcase. 3 homes in the showcase today, and interesting, this is no coincidence, ladies and gentlemen, all 3 of them have open houses this weekend on Sunday. The first open house, and I'm actually going to be hosting this open house, is at 495 West Ash Street in Lebanon. This is an immaculate, updated, and upgraded 3-bedroom, 2-bath home, a little over 1,400 square feet on a nicely sized 0.16 acre lot, and that is on West Ash in Lebanon. So, nice established Lebanon neighborhood. The home itself, absolutely a gem in all respects. The homeowners bought this home in 2010 and have just done a ton of updates. Here are some of the things they've done. Marble tile countertops, new kitchen cabinetry. It's oak cabinetry. It has those spring-loaded hinges, so even when you're mad, you can't slam them. Exceptional energy efficiency, low-flow toilets, low-flow showers. It's got a heat pump, vinyl windows, high-quality carpet, 7-pound pad, a 30-year roof, which was new in 2010, real hardwood blinds. They have the oiled bronze fixtures, stainless steel appliances, including the refrigerator, the dishwasher, the range, and the microwave. And it's a nice, big, open, very comfortable floor plan. Great for entertaining on a nice 0.16 acre lot. Open house on Sunday from 1 to 3 p.m. And the MLS number is 660326 if you would like more information on 495 West Ash in Lebanon. The second open house this weekend is located at 1500 Mayview Drive, Northwest Albany. This open house is Sunday from, I think, noon to 3, hosted by Nancy Wines of RE/MAX Integrity. This is a 0.54 acre home, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, over 2,200 square feet of living space. The home was built in 1971, but it does have some updates. It's a close-in North Albany location, single-level home, spacious rooms, a large open floor plan. Again, vinyl windows, fresh paint, some updates in the bath and kitchen, a large open kitchen with lots of cabinetry and counter space. And if you have an RV or need to park a bunch of vehicles, this is a wonderful home for you. Private fenced yard with mature trees and landscaping. Inside the house, it's got real hardwood floors, also a new water heater. Just a lot of really nice stuff. It's a beautiful home, 1500 Mayview Drive, Northwest in Albany. And the list price is $278,900. Open house on Sunday from, I think, noon to 2 is what Nancy was planning. Finally, the open house today, on Sunday, 736 South Nebergall Loop, Northeast. Quite a mouthful of an address. This is a total top-to-bottom extreme home makeover renovation. Everything has been done to this house, from electrical upgrades, new roof, new vinyl windows, new carpeting, new paint inside and out. They stained the brick, remodeled the interior. It's a brand new kitchen with beautiful cherry finished cabinets, granite countertops, stainless steel fixtures and appliances. Absolutely a beautiful beautiful home. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bath, 1,928 square feet on a large 0.3-acre corner lot. Again, that's located in North Albany on the corner of Mayview and Nebergall. So if you're going to go to this open house or the one on Mayview, make sure you stop and see them both. They're just a couple of blocks apart. List price, $245,000. Again, beautiful home, practically brand new from the top down. So there's 3 open houses for you this Sunday, 736 Nebergall Loop, South Nebergall Loop Northeast, 495 West Ash Street in Lebanon, and 1500 Mayview Northwest in Albany. And that's the Real Estate Showcase for this 7th day of February 2013. If you want more information on any of our participating homes, send me an email, realestatetalk@kgal.com. If you have a question about any of the homes, about the open house, or if you have a question about real estate, again, you can send that to realestatetalk@kgal.com, or you can go to our Facebook fan page. That's Real Estate Talk on KGAL. That's the link from Facebook.com. I love it when you participate in the show. I like your questions. I think it keeps the show fresh and current and focused on you and helping you make good decisions. If you need information on real estate statistics, again, available at the KGAL.com website. Click on the link for Real Estate Talk, or those statistics are also posted on that Facebook fan page. If you are not currently working with a real estate professional and you want a market analysis done on a property, and folks, this is whether you're looking to buy a property or to sell a property. Having that knowledge is very powerful, and it's good information to have. No obligation. Send me an email with the address, and I'll provide that market analysis for you. But certainly, I'd like to be on your team. If you're looking for an agent that's 100% on your side, that is my commitment to all my clients. I only work with one client in any real estate transaction. So give me a call or send me an email today. And finally, for this segment, if you are starting the home buying process, I strongly encourage you to contact Willamette Neighborhood Housing Services, www.w-nhs.org, and take the class. It is worth it. It's a lot of good information. It's a full day. Helps you qualify for some additional lending programs, some down payment assistance programs, depending on your specifics. Great program. Again, I will be teaching. If you're listening Saturday, that's actually where I am instead of being here at the studio. I'm going to be teaching on Saturday at Willamette Neighborhood Housing. For you, my faithful radio listeners, if you are not currently working with another real estate professional and you want to take that class, just drop me an email here, realestatetalk@kgal.com. Let me know the date you're signing up for, and I'll pay the course fee. Again, I think it's just that powerful, just that worthwhile, and I can't encourage you enough to take advantage of that resource. Okay, we're up on our break. We're going to take a little break. When we come back, it'll be Kevin Simran, broker-owner of RE/MAX Integrity, giving us his insights into the market for 2012 and what we're looking at coming in the future. And I'm thinking it's going to be some good news. I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity. This is Real Estate Talk on KGAL.
That's someone enjoying a wonderful meal at McDonald's. That's someone enjoying a refreshing Coca-Cola for only $1. And that's the harmonious flavor of McDonald's and any size icy cold Coca-Cola soft drink or sweet tea for just $1. It's hard to describe it any other way. The simple joy of a la carte only. Prices and participation may vary. Limited time offer.
Listen up, team. There's a bunch of hungry football fans outside. Everyone loves you. You're juicy, tender, and crispy. And when they dunk you in spicy buffalo and creamy ranch sauces, you'll turn these fans into Chicken McNuggets fanatics. Are you ready?
What the pep talk and pass the Mickey D's, man. Yeah, halftime's almost over.
The fans have spoken. Go kick some taste buds.
The colossal 40-piece Chicken McNuggets. Now just $8.99. More tastiness to love only at McDonald's. For a limited time only, prices and participation may vary. McDonald's is a proud sponsor of the National Football League.
I want to dive into the sea and ride around in submarine and see things that I never see. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go to sea.
The Sea and Me, an interactive children's exhibit. Now open at the Oregon Coast Aquarium in Newport.
People all over the Mid-Valley are raving about Dr. Dennis Clark. They have learned that dental anxiety is completely unnecessary once you have experienced the laser dentist, Dr. Dennis Clark. Dale Persian, owner of Like New Appliance, explains why he and hundreds of other Mid-Valley residents choose Dr. Dennis Clark and his staff again and again.
Hello, my name is Dale Persian, owner of Like New Appliance. My experience with Dr. Dennis Clark was exceptional. Dr. Clark performs great dental and keeps me smiling. The staff is excellent and takes pride in the results of what they do. Every visit, I am treated like family. That's what keeps me coming back.
Dale Persian explained it best with every visit, I'm treated like family. Dr. Dennis Clark and his staff take pride in their no cut, no sew, no fear solution to bleeding gums, loose teeth, and bad breath. For a free consultation, call the laser dentist, Dr. Dennis Clark, in Lebanon at 541-451-1440. 541-451-1440.
A good web page is a must sales tool for today's businesses. Sandy M Communications will put together an efficient, thorough web page that is right for your business. Sandy M Communications knows how to bring customers to your door and your phone. Call them at 541-223-7444. Put Sandy M Communications to work for you. Call them at 541-223-7444 or visit sandymcommunications.com.
Want to really know more? Just point, click, and learn from the Mid-Valley's best website, KGAL.com.
Welcome back to Real Estate Talk. I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity. Real Estate Talk is your only resource on local radio for real estate information right here in Oregon's Mid-Willamette Valley. We are always here on Saturdays, but like this week, we get to spend a couple of Thursdays in the Valley Talk time slot. If you've missed a show, if you're looking for information about real estate market trends, you can find that on the website, www.kgal.com, and click on the link for Real Estate Talk. Our webmaster, Adam, has been doing it from Sandy M Communications, has been doing a great job getting those numbers and statistics and the audio files up for you each and every week, and I really appreciate all of his hard work. There are statistics on that website that go all the way back to January 2007 when I first started this adventure here in radio. My guest today is kind of my boss, Kevin Simron. Kevin is the broker-owner of the RE/MAX Integrity franchise here in the Willamette Valley. Offices in Eugene, Corvallis, Albany, and still over the coast, right, Kevin?
Yeah, we still have a presence over on the coast.
We still have a presence on the coast. So, Kevin, we did the big business meeting in January. You kind of gave us the outlook on the market, and I asked you to come here today and kind of fill the listeners in on your perspective. So, can you kind of just give us the highlights, maybe, of what last year was like and why you're optimistic for this year?
Sure, absolutely. In fact, I as you were saying how far back your statistics go, I thought, boy, wouldn't that be a fun journey to take? Because as Dave just mentioned, he started keeping the stats in January of 07, and it was in August of 07 that the lights kind of went out in real estate.
Yeah, something about somewhere
Oregon.
In a handbasket.
There you go, something like that. Yeah, so it would be more fun now than it would have been in 08, 09, 10, 11 to look back at those, because we are starting to see an upswing.
Well, and I think that was the thing that made me the most optimistic, was the way you started your presentation last month, was that this was the meeting that you had been waiting for 5 years.
Right. Well, it had been the meeting I had been waiting for. I didn't know when I was going to actually do it. And a couple years ago, I didn't know if it would ever happen. But yes, I've been waiting to be able to stand up in front of colleagues and associations I speak at and that type of thing, and actually give some good news, because we've really been spending, we in the industry, from 07 when the lights kind of shut out, saying it's going to get better, it's going to get better.
Please, it's going to get better.
And that was good in 08 and 09, but by the time 10 and 11 rolls around, that's getting to be a pretty old record to listen to. But yeah, that in 2012, nationally, and real estate's very localized, so that the statement isn't true all over the country. It's not even true all over Oregon, although for the most part it is. 2012 had a major turnaround from 2011. And the turnaround that we saw, and we've got statistics we can talk about that back this up, the turnaround we saw was in the volume of real estate being transacted. It wasn't necessarily in sales prices going up, and in fact, as we get into this a little bit, they fudged down in certain areas, they went up in certain areas, but certainly they're done falling like they had been from 8, 9, 10, and into 11. Definitely they've stabilized, they're on the upward trend. That isn't a huge spike up, it's not going to be a straight ski slope up, but it's going to be a trend that's actually a really good, healthy trend. But again, the big story, I think the big takeaway for 2012 was the number of units that started selling again was up significantly. Depending on what market we're in, we're looking at 13, 20% up in the number of units that sold, which is still not a great robust market, but when you compare that to what we've seen over the last 5 years, it's absolutely robust and heading in the right direction. That's what's important as a trend.
Do we have any insights into the why, into the what is the genesis or the cause of that turnaround?
Sure. I think, so many things go back to consumer confidence, and you always hear that and you go, yeah, whatever. But consumers in 2012, if you look at the studies and the Economist, of course, you can look at any study and prove anything you want anymore because everybody's got a study.
They say figures lie and liars figure.
There you go. But pretty much across the board, if you look at the trend, consumer confidence got better. Unemployment got somewhat better. And I think what we found is folks that before who had jobs and could get a loan and could buy real estate were still kind of on the sidelines because, man, I may not be able to keep my job or that type of thing. And the biggest thing, certainly for the real estate industry, the biggest thing is that buyers got confident, and they were wise to do so because we're seeing that trend reverse. They got confident that the prices were done going down and we had hit the floor and that they were headed in the right direction. And so I think a lot of buyers got off the sidelines, realized that these giveaway interest rates at 3.5% or whatever they are aren't going to last forever. So that's the biggest thing, is that I believe the market stabilized enough where people thought, yeah, I didn't want to buy in 8 and 9 and 10 and 11 got okay.
Because there was still a lot of fear the market was going to continue trending down.
Trending down. It was trending down. In 9, 10, 11, that trend started to shape up. In 12, it definitely changed trajectory. So that really is it, that the buyers, by and large, decided the bottom's hit, and they were right, and because of those actions, I'm sure we'll talk about this.
Isn't it really? It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah, kind of. To a certain extent.
If, and not saying in a manipulative sense, but if we had convinced people that the bottom took place in 2010, they would have gone, "Oh, it was the bottom."
Yeah.
Well, now it's time to buy again, and it would have been a self-fulfilling prophecy then.
And one of the things I guess I'll say I'm proud of or whatever is our organization, and many organizations followed suit on this, but not all. We weren't out telling our prospective buyers in 2009 and 8 and 10, the bottom's hit, now's the time to buy. We've said, now here's some reasons to buy. Interest rates are here, they're going to be trending up and that type of thing. And there's a lot of folks that went ahead and bought during those times, and even though those values may have slid a little bit from 8 and 9, the big hit happened back in 7 and 8. They've still locked in fixed rate interest rates at historic lows and that type of thing. So it's sure nice to be able to go back to those clients that a lot of our agents and other real estate professionals across the state have dealt with and said, okay, you sat on the sidelines. That was probably smart to do. You maybe have been a renter and that type of thing. We saw a tremendous amount of renters become homeowners last year in 2012, and we're going to continue to see that, because especially now that you've got both things going for you. You've still got low interest rates, although I caution those aren't going to last forever. It seems like they're going to, but they're not going to. And you've also got housing prices now going up, and where before we've had those strong interest rates, great interest rates for the last 5 years, but the housing prices weren't stable. But now you've kind of got the best of both worlds, and we're seeing, as a result of those first-time buyers moving into the market, the first-time home buyer price range spiking up at a much more significant pace than some of the move up or higher end houses.
You know, it's interesting. One of the resources that I have is the Own America program with Greg Rand, which I kind of tapped into last year at the RE/MAX convention. So it's been almost a year. One of his theories in his book Crash Boom was that there's a kind of a historic appreciation rate of somewhere between 2.5% and 4% from World War II till today.
Over a long period of time.
Over a long period of time, 2.5% fairly consistently. And what we saw was this overheated market in the beginning part of this century, overheated way high, way above that, and then it corrected, it overcorrected, and then it's going to probably recorrect itself, but it'll eventually get back on that same trend line. Do you buy into that?
Yeah, I absolutely buy into that. And if you look at, not just in his book, if you just look at historical data, that's true. Real estate's a great long-term investment. You know, there's folks where some folks got hurt is when the market was at its peak or its bubble, if you want to call it that, in 2007. And so in 2005 and 2006, they were buying real estate or refinancing real estate like this euphoria is never going to end, and it always ends historically.
It's a cycle.
It is a cycle. That's exactly right. And the big correction that you just spoke of has definitely occurred, and now I think what we're going to see is appreciation in that 2%, 3%, 4% range, probably, quite frankly, in the markets we serve here in the Willamette Valley, that more entry-level home price, I think we're going to probably see it appreciate more than 3 or 4% in the next year or two, because there's a lot of pent-up demand from first-time buyers that are sitting on the sidelines, and also folks that may have gotten into some financial trouble with their house or their other financing that haven't been able to get conventional financing from some credit blemishes from 7, 8, and 9. Well, those folks are able to get back in the market again.
Well, I also see there's going to be probably a hole in the market because you're talking about the pent-up demand from the first-time buyers, but there are a lot of people who would be move-up buyers that aren't able to because they did just recently do a short sale or have some issues. They're not necessarily, those move-up buyers in the middle of the market aren't in a position necessarily to be able to buy and move up.
That's correct. There's certainly private money lenders available now that would look at folks that had a short sale, even a very recent short sale, if it can be shown that, yeah, that was the result of the market. That wasn't a result of being financially irresponsible. It's just one of those things that happens. So there are lenders that will do private money. That costs a little more than conventional money, but you're right. And also a lot of institutional investors are still coming in and buying single-family homes, and that's, again, in that entry-level home, that's reducing that inventory significantly, which, of course, it's all supply and demand, is nudging those prices up at a little higher appreciation rate than I think we're going to see in the mid-level move-up homes.
And I think that's what I'm seeing here in Albany, Lebanon, Corvallis. It's really inventory is the big driver right now because there is just so little.
Yeah.
I remember 2007 when I first started doing this. I went back and I looked. There were 470 houses in Albany on the market, and that number was historically above 400 for years.
Right.
Over the last year or so, we started seeing it dip down below 3, and the last 2 weeks we've actually been below 200 homes in Albany. So that's over less than half of the inventory we had at the beginning.
That's correct, and it's amplified even more in Corvallis. I mean, it really is, and we're seeing the same thing in our office in Eugene and Lane County. I mean, the inventory, ironically, a year ago, there's houses on the market, there's houses on the market, there's houses on the market, and now when I visit with our agents, I just finished a training class an hour ago. That was one of the biggest things is we've got qualified buyers. There's just
no houses for them.
No houses. Yeah. And again, I don't want to oversell that because there's some folks with houses on the market like me, yours truly, that has a house on the market.
Do you need a good realtor?
Yeah, maybe. That hasn't sold. And so it isn't, we're not back to the boom days of 2007, and we're not going to be probably in my lifetime, but we're back to a good, sustainable, great market. But again, it has given a boost to those entry-level homes more, and then it's going to work its way up. But that's going to take some time. So I hesitate to say how there's no inventory because there are folks out there that have their home on the market or hear that and think, oh, wow, I'll just call and put that $1 million price tag on. It's going to sell. It's not going to happen.
It still has to be well-conditioned, well-priced, and in the neighborhood, they all have to line up for the right sale.
That's exactly right, because there is inventory available in all price ranges, but when you look at some of that inventory, it's not selling because it's not sellable, which means, as you point out, I mean, and every home is sellable. It's price and condition, and price trumps all. Those homes may still be priced a little higher. They're going to, and they'll sit.
Well, Kevin, we need to take a break. When we come back, I do want to talk a little bit more about what's driving the market and what we're looking at driving the market in 2013. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a break. You're listening to Real Estate Talk on 1580 KGAL.
The Osgood File, sponsored in part by Regis. Get intentional about your business success with a prestigious furnished office whenever you need it from Regis. Get started with 2 months free. Call 1-800-OFFICES. This is Charles Osgood. Airline pilots learn to fly even the most advanced jetliners these days, not on an aircraft itself, but on a simulator. It gives the pilot the same sight, sound, and motion cues without ever actually flying. Piloting one of those superjets is not exactly brain surgery, but now brain surgeons are using virtual reality simulators too.
So let's see if we can stop that bleeding with your right hand.
Without any actual blood. The story after this. Do you want to send something romantic and sweet and good enough to eat for Valentine's? How about some giant mouth-watering strawberries, freshly dipped in chocolatey goodness from Sherry's Berries? These fresh, juicy berries are covered in white milk and dark chocolate, topped off with chocolate chips, nuts, or decorative swizzle. I've tasted these berries, and they are fantastic. Send them to your sweetheart, and she'll think so, too. Now, through this Friday, Sherry's Berries has a special Valentine's offer, since you listened to the Osgood File. Order Sherry's Berries starting at $19.99. That's over 40% savings. And for just $10 more, you can double the berries. To get this amazing offer, call Sherry's Berries at 1-866, the word FRUIT02. That's 1-866-FRUIT02. Or even better, go to berries.com. That's BERRIES.com. Click on the microphone at the top of the page and type in my last name, Osgood, O-S-G-O-O-D. That's berries.com and enter Osgood. Remember, this offer ends Friday, so order now. At Mount Sinai School of Medicine in New York, our CBS News colleague Ines Ferre watched first-year resident Dr. Jonathan Rosoli use a virtual reality simulator to hone his brain surgery skills.
The machine actually simulates the sounds, the feelings, the actual tactile feedback that you would get if you're actually standing there in the OR.
Mount Sinai is the first med school in the United States to use this NeuroTouch simulator designed by the National Research Council of Canada.
Its 3D software and handheld controls closely mimic actual brain surgeries, allowing residents to practice procedures before they perform them on patients.
The machines are more patient than patients, and more forgiving, too. Dr. Joshua Betterson is chairman of neurosurgery there at Mount Sinai.
I think it has enormous potential to improve and potentially revolutionize the way we train and prepare for surgeries.
Doctors also hope to one day import scans of individual patients onto the device before their operations.
If we can practice that in a virtual reality environment, we might be more accurate, and my guess is, and my hope, reduce complications.
The Osgood File. I'll see you online at Facebook, Twitter, and at theosgoodfile.com. This is Charles Osgood on the CBS Radio Network.
Banking these days can be pretty impersonal. You've got your big banks, your internet banks, your do-it-yourself banks, and your too big to fail banks. That's why you might be interested in an alternative. Willamette Community Bank. Hello, this is Bill Higbee, residential lender. You deserve better service without sacrificing a thing. So if you're feeling underserved, make the switch to the best banking option out there with branches in Albany and Lebanon.
Willamette Community Bank. Service like no other. We promise. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Jay Farner here from Quicken Loans. We get a lot of tweets from folks that sound just like this. Jay, I bought my home in 2007. Since then, it's gone down in value. Now I owe more on my mortgage than my home is worth. Can I refinance? The answer may very well be yes. Recently, the government announced changes that may allow folks to refinance even if their home has lost value. For example, if you owe $300,000 on your mortgage, but your home's only worth $150,000, Quicken Loans may still be able to help you. Or if your current mortgage rate is higher than 3.99%, you've got to give us a call today at 800-QUICKEN. And for 3 years in a row now, J.D. Power & Associates has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. So if your current mortgage is higher than 3.99%, or if you owe more than your home is worth, call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com.
For J.D. Power & Associates award information, visit jdpower.com. Important terms and conditions apply. Calls for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states and MLS number 3030.
Health Talk with Dr. Bob Martin. Sunday mornings on News Talk 1580, KGAL.
Welcome back to Real Estate Talk. I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity. We're live today and with my guest, Kevin Simran. Kevin is the broker-owner of RE/MAX Integrity. We've been talking about the drivers, or what happened last year, and it seems like last year, it's fairly safe to say, Kevin, the bottom is in our rearview mirror and things are improving in the housing market. What do you see as some of the drivers moving forward? What gives you that sense of optimism moving forward?
Sure. I think a couple things. Overall, the confidence in the overall economy is good. Obviously, the stock market's doing well right now. And so that just increases the attitude of optimism just throughout the country, and we're no exception here in Oregon. The other thing is there's a lot of folks, as we mentioned before the break, that have been sitting on the sidelines, so that's causing a influx right now, particularly in the entry-level homes. Now that will push its way up. Doesn't happen instantly, but when they're buying entry-level homes, somebody owned those entry-level homes.
Right.
A lot of times those are investors right now, so it doesn't necessarily mean a home buyer's moving up, but oftentimes it does. As you also mentioned before the break, some of those folks that sold those move-up homes, those mid-level homes, if we want to call them that, may have been prevented from buying right then because of some credit issues. Those are getting cleaned up. But I think what you're going to see is that's going to continue to move up through the price ranges. We're going to see that in 13 and into 14 and on. And then if you look at statistics, just population growth, and I'm talking nationally, birth rate and all that, but in Oregon's no exception, just population growth, because there was virtually no building, especially in Oregon, virtually no new home construction in the last 5 years. There's been some, but not compared to the pace before. We're actually going to ironically run into a housing shortage.
I love that you're saying
in
this.
Residential housing.
I have actually predicted here on the show that at some point, and I was going to call it when unemployment drops below, say, 8% consistently, that it's going to start about an 18-month cycle where there's going to be kind of a mini housing boom because there's so little inventory. Buyers are coming back to the market, and we're starting to see multiple offers and a lot of that going on now.
We are.
That it's going to be about an 18-month period where you're going to see probably slightly more appreciation in some price categories. And it's only going to last for 18 months because individual builders who own dirt, who are going to start building, don't coordinate, and they're going to oversupply the market again with inventory.
That's very true. And I think it'll be a while before we see the oversupply of inventory, because for new housing starts in Oregon and the Willamette Valley, they're down significantly from where they used to be. Now, multifamily housing starts, especially around the campuses, those have increased dramatically, and we're actually seeing an oversupply of that rental housing in some pockets, not everywhere. And so I think what we're going to find is this does and doesn't directly affect the real estate sales, but the rental inventory is going to increase, which may cause rents to need to be a little more competitive, because more of those current renters, first of all, there's more choices for other rental housing than there has been. A lot of that rental housing being what used to be former owner-occupied housing.
Correct, yeah.
And then as we start seeing new construction happen. But you're right, new construction does lag a little bit, because if you decided you wanted to do a subdivision today, you're going to be a couple years out to get a subdivision in most of the communities we operate in anyway.
But there's a lot of developers that own land,
they're sitting
and
waiting.
It's platted, and they are just waiting for the opportunity.
Yes.
And again, because there's no vehicle for them to coordinate, and then you add into that the individual onesie-twosie builders.
Right.
I think that's what put us into, especially in the Lebanon market, there was so much building that went on in anticipation of the Lowe's distribution center going in, and the College of Osteopathic Medicine, and everybody over-predicted the need. And it was like an accordion.
Or predicted it fine, but didn't tell the other guy or gal that was producing.
Exactly. Everybody was doing their market research by watching somebody else.
Yeah.
Well, if he's building, then dang it, I'm building too.
There you go. Yeah, that's very, very true. And new construction, a lot of the smaller builders are no longer around. I mean, they've left the state, they left the industry, that type of thing. There are a few big builders that we're starting to see reemerge now that we haven't been. One of the unfortunately, one of the things for small builders is to get financing is still with the lending restrictions, and the banks have gotten very conservative, not only in existing housing, but in speculative home building. That's usually not their favorite topic right now, although we are starting to see that thaw a little bit.
It's interesting. Again, moving forward, what do you see as possible roadblocks or things that could interrupt the positive cycle? Obviously, interest rates are probably one. Right now, interest rates are staying low, somewhat artificially. If they start going up, is there a threshold that's going to interrupt? And maybe what other economic or other factors are going to come into play?
Sure. And I think interest rates, and now I used to say, we're historic lows. Well, there's a certain generation of home buyers, my college-age kids included. What are you talking about?
We don't know any better.
You mean they used to be up to 4?
I did the happy dance at 6
when we were thrilled that they got into single digits. But so I think we are going to see when interest rates, not if, but when interest rates start going up, that we're initially going to see. Actually, I believe what we're going to see initially when they start going up is a little activity in the market, because people are going to realize, these 3.5s, they weren't kidding. They really are going to go up.
And they're going to want to take advantage before they go up higher.
They are. And I think when you look at what the Federal Reserve is going to be doing, they've been pretty consistent at keeping them low. And I think that's going to continue for a bit. But eventually, inflation's going to start up, interest rates are going to start up, and housing prices will go up. A lot of that will be pure inflation, like the price of bread goes up and that type of thing, and then supply and demand is also built into that. So that is absolutely going to occur. So to answer your question, what I think the obstacles are going to be, I think it's going to be, depending on when inflation kicks in and how hard it kicks in, it's going to cause housing to go up, and bread and everything else, and that relationship to the interest rates, that's going to be the challenge.
Understood. That's great. One of the things, and I just, as you were talking, I was sitting here thinking about something that had come up, and a number of times you sent emails out to the company addressing this. And I know...
I hope I was right. What is it?
When we were talking about the health care, the changes in the health care laws, Obamacare going into effect, there's this black cloud going around about a tax that's going to be added on to real estate transfers. And I think that's something that's largely misunderstood. Do you want to take a minute maybe to dispel or kind of straighten that out?
We see a lot of emails that are sent out by different interest groups that because of Obamacare or whatever, there's going to be a 3.8% tax on real estate, and they're going to tax real estate and that type of thing. And what some want to make you believe is that anytime you sell a house, you're going to pay an extra 3.8% tax. The fact is, what it really is when you have a capital gain, and that capital gain can occur when you sell a piece of property, a horse, a piece of art, whatever, or a piece of investment real estate. When there's an actual capital gain, it used to be that you did not have to pay a Medicare tax on capital gains. Now there is a Medicare tax on capital gains, so that 3.8% applies. However, I'm not going to say it never happens, but virtually every real estate transaction, if they're owner occupied, and you're using your exclusion, moving into another property, you don't pay a gains tax. B, investors that invest in real estate, whether it be a simple one house or 1,500 apartments, when they sell, they typically will do what's called a 1031 tax deferred exchange, where they're rolling over their gain or they're exchanging
and deferring
their gain. That's exactly right. But again, most of the time for people like you and I and the listeners, the majority, we own a home, we're going to sell it, we're going to buy another one. It doesn't apply. Where it does apply is if you have a piece of investment real estate. I'm not talking about your owner-occupied property, but if I bought a rental and it was worth $100,000 when I bought it, and after the improvements I've made, my selling costs and whatever, I've made $100,000 on that transaction, I would pay 3.2% Medicare tax on that. So it isn't a sales tax on real estate. It's not a transfer tax on real estate. It's really can happen if the stars are aligned a certain way.
Well, I'm in the process of flipping a house.
Mm-hmm.
We did a renovation. We're selling it, so we will have a capital gain, and we'll pay that Medicaid tax on that.
Unless you decide to do a 1031 deferred exchange. That's right.
And I think the other thing when you talk about taxes, we had the big vote this fall on the real estate transfer tax.
Mm-hmm.
You want to give us maybe a little bit of clarification on that?
Yeah, and let me clarify something on your last point, the house you flipped. A lot of people will say, well, wow, so, well, I'm not talking about the house you flipped because I don't know the details on it. Let's say, so if you sold a $200,000 house and it was an investment property, you owe 3.8% tax.
No, just the capital gain.
It's on the gain. Now, if you could gain that much, bless your heart.
I'd be happy to pay the tax if I could gain that much.
Yeah. What you were referring to, the initiative that actually changed the Oregon Constitution, what that did, and that was supported by the Realtor organization and many other organizations, what that did is made it so there's now a constitutional amendment to the Oregon Constitution where no municipality, no, not the state, not the county, not the city, not any government municipality, can put a transfer tax on real estate. We actually have a couple counties up north of here that have a transfer tax on real estate, which is a sales tax on real estate. If they sell their house for, and this isn't based on gain, if they sell their house for $100,000 and the transfer tax 1.2%, they pay that $1,200 in that example. And so what it really does is just simply adds to the price of the house. The realtors took the lead on that, as well as other folks that got involved, and we got a constitutional amendment passed so that there cannot be any real estate taxes imposed in the state of Oregon. The ones that are currently in place up north are stand, but we don't have that threat of, gee, when you sell your house, which you may not have made as much money on as you were hoping because the last few years, that there's another tax bill for $3,000 or $4,000 at escrow. So that's taken care of.
Well, we need to take a break, but I want to ask you the question before we go to the break so I can give you the break to think about it. One of the things I like to talk about here on Real Estate Talk is where the opportunities are in the market. And I often talk about the opportunities for buyers, opportunities for sellers when I do the market statistics. So going forward, after the break, I'd like you to answer the question where you see the best opportunities in real estate over 2013, 2014, moving ahead.
I can do that.
Okay, so Kevin's going to think about that, and we're going to take a break. This is Real Estate Talk on KGAL.
Winter in Oregon. Some of us have been inside so much we feel a little bottled up. There's a perfect solution. The Newport Seafood and Wine Festival, presented by Chinook Winds Casino Resort. The original and still the best. Since 1978, the Newport Seafood and Wine Festival has attracted visitors from around the world to the Central Oregon coast. Try out your French with the 2013 theme, Cirque du Vin, Seafood and Wine. You'll have a chance to sample some of the most sumptuous, mouth-watering seafood, and you'll discover why the wine world comes to Oregon when they're searching for excellence. Booth after booth of the best seafood and wine. Commercial wineries competing with each other, as well as an amateur wine competition. The Newport Seafood and Wine Festival, February 21st through the 24th. Don't crab about being bottled up all winter. Swing out to Newport and enjoy. For tickets and other information, visit seafoodandwine.com. Corvallis Independent Business Alliance encourages you to support your community.
Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Wheat, rye, barley, and oats could be making it sick. Get educated about the possible health problems associated with eating gluten. Call 541-602-1065 or go online at glutenfreern.com. Let their experience save you time, money, and suffering.
Chenard's Nursery, Florist and Landscaping in Corvallis has a lovely variety of fresh flowers and creative gift ideas to suit any occasion, style, or budget. We can help you pick out the perfect bouquet this Valentine's Day. You can order online or call 541-929-6939. Chenard's Nursery, Florist and Landscaping in Corvallis.
Time to reproof your rain gear at the Rain Shed. Do it yourself with help from the experts at the Rain Shed Outdoor Fabrics and Supplies. Patterns, fabrics, insulation, hardware, zippers, new creations, buttons, webbing, notions, elastic. Be inspired. It's all fantastic. Online at therainshed.com. Call 753-8900.
Thank you for supporting locally owned independent businesses.
What a great cruise.
I'll say. I've never had a room with a balcony.
A balcony? I thought we paid the same price. I've got an inside cabin with a great view of the hallway.
Really? So you didn't see that amazing pot of whales?
No.
How about the sunsets? Just spectacular.
There are no sunsets or whales in the hallway.
Snorkeling trip to that little island?
Nope.
Reception with the captain?
No.
Travel discounts from AAA?
No.
Hi, AAA guy here. You know, when it's time for your next getaway, make sure you get the most for your travel dollar with helpful advice from the folks at AAA Travel Agency. They're the experts, and they'll answer all your questions, handle all the details, and help you find great deals to make your vacation more relaxing, more fun, and more affordable.
Did we mention the mermaids?
What?
Just kidding.
Find a great deal on your next getaway. Call AAA Travel at 1-800-529-3222 or visit AAA.com. AAA. Membership means more.
Radio for the Mid-Valley's horse lovers, The Horse Show with Rick Lamb, Sunday mornings at 9 on Smart Talk 1580.
Welcome back to Real Estate Talk. I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity. With me today, Kevin Simran, broker owner of RE/MAX Integrity. Before the break, I asked Kevin a question. Moving forward through 2013, 2014, where are the best opportunities for people in real estate?
And I think there's absolutely still great opportunities. I mean, I kind of break real estate into two categories, if you will. But people that are going to own or occupy it just to, find a nice home, be in a nice home that's going to appreciate a reasonable amount. And then those that are looking at it purely from a investment point of view. And I think there's still definitely some opportunities in investment as far as for rental properties. The one thing I would be cautious of if I was an investor looking to buy rental properties in anywhere is look at really the supply that you're going to be competing with. Because when you buy a rental property, whether that be a duplex, an apartment building, or a small home, you are competing with other landlords to get tenants. And we've seen this firsthand in our organizations because we have a property management division, is a year ago, there wasn't much competition to get units rented. There was a shortage of rental housing. Things got rented at remarkable rents and in short order. And now what we're seeing is things are taking longer to rent. The vacancy rates have gone up, and I don't mean just within our company, in the marketplace. The vacancy rates have gone up. The rents have certainly leveled out. Now, again, just like in the real estate sales, there's always exceptions. There's certain neighborhoods, certain price ranges, certain styles that's not happening in. But there's been so much new construction in the multifamily. Just be real careful that you're buying in an area and the type of property that you're going to have lesser competition. I think there's an opportunity for investors that have typically looked at the bigger complexes, a 4-plex, a 5-plex, a 200-plex. I think this opens up an opportunity for investors that aren't on that scale but just might want to venture in and buy their first rental house or that type of thing, to actually buy a house. And I say a house because as the rental market gets looser, in other words, there's more rentals to choose from, typically, not always, but typically a family or a person looking to rent something would prefer to rent a house versus an apartment within an apartment complex. And again, not always. So what ends up happening as those houses become more affordable, the houses tend to fill up and the bigger vacancies tend to happen in the multifamily. Now, I'm not talking about around the campuses. That statement isn't true. So I think there needs to, if I was investing in residential real estate right now, I'd be really looking at the single family or the duplex model right now as opposed to the bigger projects. And that's great for small investors or folks that are just getting started because that's generally what we're most comfortable with as opposed to a 100-plex.
Right. Easier to manage, too.
Absolutely easier to manage. You can identify. But again, for me, it really goes back to if the rents come down or stabilize, because they went right up as housing was going down, rentals were going up because of what we discussed with distressed sellers. But if a person has X amount of dollars to spend and they can now get into a house with their own garage, that type of thing, versus an apartment, even though it may be an upper-end apartment, you'll see more of them swinging towards those single-family residences. Again, not always, but a generalized statement. Then as far as folks not on the investment side, but just looking, to buy a house, to raise their kids, or retire, or empty nest, or whatever, which my wife and I just recently did, so I speak from experience on this one. I think what, I don't want to say you can't go wrong, but what I would say is we're now in a market where things are appreciating at a reasonable rate, not skyrocket appreciation. And so as long as you're looking at buying that house and going to be in it a few years, not 20 or 30, but if you're going to be in there a reasonable amount of time, 3, 5, 7 years, you should be in pretty good shape. I always discourage, no matter what the market's doing, if you're going to be in something very, very short term, if we're out of here in a year, you really need to think whether you're going to buy that real estate from an investment perspective. Now, there are people that get transferred around a lot, and they know they're going to be out of here in a year, but that's okay. They want home ownership. That's what they're used to. My only caution for that is that's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but don't anticipate making a profit off doing that.
Buy well.
Absolutely. Buy well. And as we talked about in the earlier segment, real estate historically has been a great investment beyond, being your house, a great investment over time. But there are short periods of time, like between
2007 and 2012.
Yeah, exactly, that it wasn't so much that way. So I certainly wouldn't encourage people, whether it's a rental or to live in, to buy because they're going to flip it in a year and make all this money. Exception to that would be if you can go in and buy a home or apartment or whatever in a nice neighborhood and do fix-up, then there's certainly an opportunity to make money.
And I've got a client right now that I'm working with who's in the process of buying a home. They're going to live in it for 2 years and then turn it into a rental property. And then they'll buy another home, live in it for 2 years, and then turn it into a rental property. The idea being that over a series of years, they're going to create a little investment portfolio of about 3 or 4 investment properties and then move into their forever home. I think this is a great market for them to do that because they're taking advantage of owner-occupied interest rates, low owner-occupied interest rates, relatively low prices, and the maximum opportunity for appreciation. So, good strategy.
And that strategy also provides diversification because just like when you buy a stock or any other investment, you're not going to always buy every one of them at the lowest or the highest. It provides a blend, which is really kind of a safety net if you're doing it over time. Diversify the areas you're buying into, the different types of home. That's a great strategy. It's not an overnight get rich by Christmas strategy, but it's a great long-term strategy.
Which real estate's a long-term investment.
Certainly is.
Kevin, thanks so much for spending the time. I'm going to cruise right into the real estate market update and try and squeeze that in before we suddenly go off the air. So really quickly, folks, here's the market update for the week. We'll begin in Corvallis, where inventory is up 5. Today, 102 active listings. The average asking price, $357,325. 96 homes sold in the last 3 months. That's down 5. Currently 3.19 months of inventory. The median sold price in Corvallis is up at $243,450, averaging $157.77 per square foot. Homes are spending 109 days on the market from listing to close. In Lebanon, 64 homes are available for sale. That's down 5. The median asking price is up today at $159,450. Over the last 3 months, 46 homes have sold. That's a move up of 2, and the median sold price is down slightly at $120,000 even. $87.99 per square foot is the average, and homes are spending 149 days on average from listing to close of sale. Lebanon has 4.17 months of inventory available. Finally, to Albany, where inventory is down 198 active residential listings. We are below 200 2 weeks in a row. The average asking price in Albany is up $202,704, with 131 homes having closed sale in the last 3 months. That's down 5. The median sale price is up at $161,486. And homes in Albany spend an average of 142 days on the market from listing to close. The average dollar per square foot value is down slightly, $102.90, and there is 4.53 months of inventory available for sale. And that's the market update for this 7th day of February, 2013. Again, if you're thinking about buying a home, Willamette Neighborhood Housing Services offers a great opportunity for buyer education. www.w-nhs.org. Take the class. It's worth it. And if you want to take that class, as long as you're not working with another realtor, sign up. Email me here at Real Estate Talk, and I'll pay the tuition for you. Finally, a reminder, this Sunday, 3 open houses, 495 West Ash Street in Lebanon, open on Sunday from 1 to 3. Beautiful 1,400 square foot home, $164,900. And if you're looking in North Albany, 1500 Mayview and 736 South Nebergall Loop Northeast. Both will be open house on Sunday. I'll be hosting the house in Lebanon. Bill Roshko will be hosting Nebergall Loop, and Nancy Wines will be hosting the open house on Mayview. So, hey, check them out. Beautiful houses, great opportunity. There's inventory out there, I promise. You'll find us here every Saturday morning on Real Estate Talk, talking about the issues that are important to you. I'm Dave Pautsch of RE/MAX Integrity.
Your first choice in local news, sports, and smart talk. This is News Talk 1580 KGAL, Lebanon, Albany, Corvallis.